NCR Corporation is a leader in omnichannel solutions, turning everyday interactions with businesses into exceptional experiences. With its software, hardware, and portfolio of services, NCR enables nearly 700 million transactions daily across financial, retail, hospitality, travel, telecom, and technology industries. NCR solutions run the everyday transactions that make your life easier. NCR is headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, with about 30,000 employees and does business in 180 countries.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. As I walked through the hallways today, I saw some very delicious looking lunches. Chipotle was one of my favorites as I walked by and I saw that. I haven't had lunch today, if you can tell. I am so excited to be here. Our opportunity to work with students and our future is one of my favorite things to do. So I'd like to take one moment just to get a chance to learn who's here today. So if you're in middle school, could you raise your hand? Oh, wow. Oh, it's a lot of you, okay? What about high school? Any high schoolers in here today? Okay. All right. Okay. What about folks from DC schools? Okay. What about Maryland? Oh, Maryland. Virginia? Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. This might be a tie. And so what about the teachers in the room today? Thank you, teachers. Thank you so much for all you do. And thank you for making sure that these young, bright people made it here today to participate in the X-STEM event. So I wanted to take just a moment to tell you just a little bit about myself. I know that you know that this section is about agriculture and it's about food. And so it is an exciting area to be in. You probably can listen to me and tell that I'm not from DC. Or Maryland, or Virginia. So I'm from a place called Augusta, Georgia. And so no, I didn't grow up on the farm. So you remember you heard from my introduction, I'm the chief scientist for the Department of Agriculture. And I had a pretty large agricultural research organization, 8,000 people, 94 locations. So here in the US, 4 overseas locations, about 2,000 PhD scientists. And so you might be wondering yourself, how did she get there? Well, I want to just share with you that as a young person growing up in Augusta, Georgia, I always loved science. It's probably about 3rd grade that I got my first chemistry set. Anybody here ever get a chemistry set? Yeah. Definitely with a microscope and the little experiments you could run at home. I think my mom still has that set someplace in the shed back in Georgia. She never throws out anything, and I might need to return to that once I'm retired. So glad she has it. So I left Augusta, Georgia, and moved to North Carolina to study at North Carolina State University in a major called Pulp and Paper Science and Technology. Has anybody ever heard of that? You have? All right, I heard somebody say they've heard of it. Most people say, what in the world is that? And so I've always wanted to be an engineer. Even through high school, I took special courses and classes to prepare me for a career in engineering. And I had many big plans to go to Georgia Tech, because I'm from Georgia. If you want to be an engineer, you go to Georgia Tech. Well, I had an opportunity to get a scholarship from North Carolina State University to study paper science. Not only did I not know where North Carolina State was, I really didn't know a lot about pulp and paper science either. But it was a scholarship to get an engineering degree and to pursue my dreams. So long story short, I moved from Augusta, Georgia to Raleigh, North Carolina, to study this pulp and paper science and technology. And did I mention I was also a student athlete? So I was studying engineering and science and doing, what do you think I did? Tell me what sport you think I did. Track, hey, soccer? Okay. Let's just say I believe I could have been great at all of those, but I was actually a high jumper. So I've been high jumping since field day in elementary school. Anybody have field days at your school? Yes. So one day at field day, I decided I'm just gonna try the high jump. So I went out and I ran as fast as I could and I jumped over the bar and it worked. I won and I made it to the county meet, and then I went to high school and I made it to state every year in the high jump just by trying it that one time at fields day. More importantly for me, it helped me pay for my college education. So just trying that at a fields day led to me being able to support myself and financially afford a college education. So between academic and athletic scholarships, I was able to go to North Carolina State University. So remember I said I didn't know a lot about pulp and paper, but I stayed there and I got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD in something I never heard about in 1985. So going on to be able to trust the process and major in those degrees, I went to college 11 years. I know. Whenever I go back home to my old country church, the old folks would say, "You still in school?" I was in college an extremely long time. But I will tell you today that every moment has paid off, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. So then I left Raleigh, North Carolina, and I moved to Seattle, Washington, all the way across. To me, it could have been on Mars as far as I knew. I had never left the East Coast. So I went to the University of Washington in Seattle, and I became a professor because I wanted to shape young minds and still be a scientist and continue to work in the scientific field. After that, I left Seattle, Washington, and I moved here to Washington, D.C., and that was 17 years ago, and I'm happy to be here. And as I shared with you, I'm a federal scientist. There are lots and lots of federal scientists across the country who are doing great work for Americans every day. So, like I said, I've always loved science, and I believe that agriculture science is a science that touches every one of you every day. So it's easy to be passionate about what we do. So enough about me. I think it's time, let's play a game. Can I get my team, can you help me? Let's play a game. So if she's chosen you, just join me right here on stage. All right. All right, fantastic. Oh, great. And one more. All right. So just 4. So we got. So can I ask that each one of you pick 2 items off of the table? We're going to play a little game. Any 2 items. All right. Okay, and then join me right here in the middle of the stage. So what's your name? Anaya. Anaya, thank you for joining me, Anaya. What's your name?
Alex.
Alex, thank you for joining me.
Katarina,
thank you for joining me.
Jaden.
And Jaden, thank you for joining me. So who has the apple dippers? So do you think the apple dippers are an ag product, yes or no? You can help him if you want. Yes? So the answer is yes. So apple dippers use a technology developed by the Agriculture Research Service, our agency, that keeps cut fruit from browning. Have you ever cut an apple at home? What starts happening almost immediately? Starts turning brown. So now have you ever had a Happy Meal at McDonald's? What? What? I have Happy Meals all the time. Who's saying no? What is something new that you've seen in a Happy Meal? You've been able to see that they've included cut apples, right? And not only are those apples included in the Happy Meal, they're white, they're fresh, they're still crunchy. That's science. And we're so happy to have been a part of that. And it also helps to get you some healthy fruits and vegetables, even when you're eating a Happy Meal like me in the airport now and then. Thank you, Kaden. So who has the baby diapers? Oh, yes. Okay, so is this an ag product? Yes or no? What's your final answer? Just guess. It's okay. Take a chance. Yes. So you all are probably too young to remember, to know this even, not even to remember, but all diapers were cotton and they had to be hand washed. And so disposable diapers have been an innovation that have helped lots and lots of parents across the world. So ARS scientists took cornstarch and added it to a chemical, making a product so thirsty it could absorb hundreds of times its own weight in water. Someone called it the Super Slurper, and the name stuck. So Super Slurper shows up in all types of products, and more importantly here for disposable diapers. Anybody have a little sister or brother or little cousin? You're glad that Super Slurper works, okay? And so we're so excited in ARS to have been able to invent this crystal, the diapers. We're so excited to be able to have created the Super Slurper in our laboratories. Thank you. So now who has the cotton t-shirts? Oh, is this an ag product? What do you think? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So, of course, agriculture science produced the cotton that makes this t-shirt. It was ARS scientists who invented flame-resistant cotton to make kids' pajamas more fireproof and fire safety in 1953. And ARS scientists have also developed treatments for cotton that resist bacteria. So for all of you all who wear cotton socks, as a bonus, the cotton now resists fungi that causes athlete's foot. So no more stinky feet. Thank you. And so for anybody who has a slogan or an iron-on on their t-shirt or their jackets today, ARS also developed the science that allows those things to be able to adhere to your shirts and your jackets. And so, yes, was the right answer. So who has the off? How many people ever use off? Yes, you should. Thank you. So is off an ag product? Good answer. He said yes. In 1954, ARS developed a chemical substance for the Department of Defense to protect soldiers from disease-carrying insects. Now best known as DEET, it remains the most effective mosquito repellent available. There are currently about 230 products containing DEET out there. And that's good for all the world because mosquitoes spread about 4 million cases of malaria, causing about 1 million deaths every year. So thank you. Yes, DEET is an ag product. I'll put this here. Thank you, Jill. Okay, who has, okay, this is too easy. Who has the grapes? Okay, Jaden. Are those an ag product? No? Yes, again, yes. Yes. Good answer. It's kind of hard to whisper with the mic right here. So, so how many of you have had grapes over the past month? You had them today? Absolutely. All right, grape juice, raisins, prunes. So red seedless grapes were all but unknown to the United States consumer before ARS released the Flame variety in 1973. So can you imagine that? Until 1973, all grapes had seeds in them, okay? So the release of another ARS variety, the Crimson, in 1989 further increased the table grape's popularity. So I had an opportunity to be in Parlier, California on last week, still jet lagged. And that lab is where they're producing lots and lots of table grapes and varieties for our enjoyment, and raisins and apricots. 90% of the country's grapes are grown in California, by the way. So when we see the news and we see drought or storms or wildfire in California, remember, we call California the salad bowl of America. So lots of our favorite fruits and vegetables and nuts come from California. And half of the grapes that come from California were invented in our laboratories in the Agriculture Research Service. So thank you, that was a good answer. Okay, who has the fuzzy chicken? Is that an ag product? Okay, well, this buzzer is because ARS did not produce the fluffy stuffed chicken that's here today. So this was a trick question, okay? It's not fair. Well, we do a lot of work with poultry and work hard to make chicken and other poultry safe to eat. Oh, and did you know that the Thanksgiving turkey most of us eat is a product of ARS research? What? And in fact, that bird was developed right here in Beltsville, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. It's called the Beltsville small white turkey, and it revolutionized the turkey industry and was bred to give us all that yummy breast meat we all like to gobble up at Thanksgiving. So thank you. So yeah, so you can give your little girl back her stuffy chicken there. Let's see here. Does she know you borrowed that? How about the toy car? No, right, it's not an ag product. Well, ARS did not make this toy car, but guess what? We have made lots of car tires. So rubber is usually made from petroleum, which is a non-renewable resource. You guys learned about non-renewable resources in your science classes? Right. And so what ARS has done is we've created a domestic renewable resource called GUAYULE. It's a desert shrub. That's a picture of it there. And it's a tiny little shrub. But we've found ways to produce domestic rubber from GUAYULE. It also can help people who have latex sensitivities. And so we're very happy about that discovery. The woody desert shrub cultivated in the southwest United States is a natural source of latex and can be used for biofuels as well. So thank you, Jay. That was a trick question. Okay, who has lactate? All right. How many people in the room, if you want to raise your hand, are lactose intolerant? Okay, well, I'm glad, I got some company out there. So tens of millions of Americans are lactose intolerant and can't even enjoy many dairy products. I'm one of those people. But ARS used a bacterium that's a tiny, tiny organism to produce an enzyme that breaks down the milk sugar responsible for the problem. So today, people can enjoy lactose-free products like milk, cheese, and ice cream, and my favorite, just a simple bowl of cereal, and improve their quality of life. So yes, lactase is an agricultural product. Yes. All right, so what I want to do is say thank you. Give me your name again. Anaya, Alex, Katarina, Jaden. Thank you so much. Jill has something for you off stage. You all were wonderful, wonderful game show participants. So, were you surprised by any of those things? No? Well, I've been with the Agriculture Research Service for about 6 years, and I continue to be surprised by our discoveries and our innovations. One of the things that excites me every day is knowing that around the globe there are over 800 million people who suffer from food insecurity. And I can't think about a better area to be in to help feed the world. Our population is expected to grow between 9 and 10 billion people. That's a lot of people. And to protect our environment, we have to figure out how to use science and innovation to help feed those people. Every time we have an opportunity to improve the quality of life of Americans. And so thank you for your questions, and thank you for being a fabulous audience, and enjoy the rest of your day.